Today we got some film crew coming to the house, so hopefully that's going to be cool from Channel 2, so we'll see what's up. Huh? You trying to chase that squirrel? I hope they get here soon because it's no fun waiting. What do you think, kitty, huh? What do you think? What do you think? Anything to say? Okay. It's not often that the TV comes calling. So when you get to touch a lot of people, you gotta be on your best behavior. What? These people are keeping me waiting, but hopefully they'll get here soon. Anyway, I hope so. Because I gotta get to work, man. I gotta get to work. I believe they have arrived. I believe so. I just wanted to show you what a real camera looked like, everybody.
That's like a little baby. I love how
that's Daddy.
So similar.
That's Daddy. It's just a little miniature version. You're right.
Carlos, Reynosa, it's great to be. Thank you so much for having us to your home.
I'm glad you came up this way.
It's great to meet you and talk with you in your environment.
Oh, that's nice.
And I wanted to sort of, I think I told you earlier, we want to talk about the relationship with the flute.
Mm-hmm.
And but I kind of want to start. I kind of want to start this now, after talking to you a little bit more, with telling us the arc of your life and how you met the flute.
Well, I met the flute at Flagstaff Powwow. A lot of people get bows and arrows, but I got a little flute. Probably didn't last very long, but I don't know if the sound was intriguing to me from a young age, and so I always dabbled in it, and I had no idea that people would come from all over to listen to me play. It's kind of nice, and it's kind of nice to have people send me flutes as well, because I mean, gosh, you take a flute that somebody took so much time with, and you go, wow, it's not stamped out by a machine, and somebody really gave so much intention to it, to make music, to make it feel and make others feel through fingers and thoughts and intention. It's a wonderful instrument, because it really is. There is set songs, but you really are ad-libbing in so many different ways. The sounds of nature, the treetops, or just the way you feel that day, or the way that you want others to try to feel,
And the flute plays a very important role in many aspects of Native ceremonies, Native life, day-to-day life, births, passings. There are also many other opportunities that you have found to bring your flute to people, the music to people. Tell us about the role that the music plays in Native American culture, and also how you have brought it. Basically I found you down valley at Cabot's Pueblo Museum. So there are many different ways the flute has found its way into our culture.
Well, every tribe had different kinds of flutes. I mean, let's face it, the Chumash had long condor legs, so they made flutes out of them, or eagle bone whistles, or reeds like the Cherokee sometimes made. Depends on what their natural environment lend them to for flutes. But it is the third instrument, I believe, on every continent, no matter where you come from. Is first the drum, then the rattle, and then came the flute. And so even the people who aren't Native American, when they hear the sounds, they're touched by it. They're touched by the freeness of it. They're touched by it's something that they don't hear within the European orchestra. It's made to really play by itself. It's really been only recently that people have mixed it with other music. And the fact is that there was only really 3 known flute makers that really lasted through the 30s and 40s, because it was really, really, really crushed as, pagan, or something that's making you feel too much, and it's not going with our orchestra, and so it's eliminated. But the fact is that it really is a prayer instrument, and it can be used in so many different ways, whether it be, like you say, in passing on to the other side in the spirit world, or the creation of coming from the spirit world. The circle of life is supposed to be filled with music and happiness. I think that as our society has mutated in different ways, we find pleasure in very strange, very branched out, very meticulous areas, but still the basis of human beings is, like in the past, seeing puppies frolic and seeing that you're supposed to be a little bit lazy when it's hot, seeing that the joys of life are the simple things, really, really tiny little simple things, and sometimes it's the notes, and the notes, how the note feels and makes you feel, and when it has those intentions, and there's no really money involved, and it's just kind of a purity of, wow, this is a piece of art, and I worked on it hard, Carlos. Will you please play it for someone? Will you play it nicely for somebody? Will you make them feel too, to remember that they're alive and that the spirit is alive within them? So it's just a great instrument. What can I say?
It's incredible. That is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Hummingbird.
Oh, they just, what can I say? They turn me on.
And you have hundreds of different flutes that have come to you from many different places.
Well, I feel lucky in that way, because I feel like Cocopelli, the past, I get to connect people. Some people from certain tribes really only want to play their traditional instrument, and because I'm removed from my Cherokee and Yaqui heritage and my Mexica heritage, I get to play with different things and introduce different kinds of flutes, to myself, and not be so rigid like, this is my tradition and I'm only going to play this kind of flute. I play, Mesoamerican flutes, I play Mayan flutes, I play Plains flutes and Cherokee flutes and California flutes and clay flutes, and I want to figure it out if it's indigenous to this continent, and I want to figure it out if it's indigenous to another continent if I can. And, each one has hours and hours of practice that I whittle away, so when I do get up on TV or in front of some people or at a funeral, that the notes come out the way I feel, and the flute brings it across so other people can feel the same. And this place here in Idlewild, it helps me do that, because I have to be right. I can't go and be a liar in front of other people and ask them to feel from a liar. They have to feel that I feel the earth, and the same way that people stop for a moment and can weep for her, the way we've torn at her innards or destroy her air, her water, that this is a place still that is natural, and that you can still feel the way the earth feels, and there is quiet. And then I can portray that to others that are in need of that, in the city or wherever they are, in their mournful time or in their times of joy as well. Also, the nice thing about it, it's not played in clubs like traditional music. It's not played to go where people normally are drinking or having other reasons to be there. The reason they're being there is either for ceremony or for a special occasion or to dedications or for a good reason. And that means the little ones all the way to the elders are there. And for me, that's a wonderful thing, because it's like, it's not excluding anyone. You know what I mean? And the children are always just fascinated. I have so many stories of going to schools where the principals are yelling and screaming, "Please, kids, this assembly is going to end if you won't quiet down." And I go, "Please, let me try." And I just start playing a few notes, and the whole place will fall silent. And I tell them that I feel for them, and through music I feel for them, and that I want you to be quiet for just a moment. And then I raise their joy, and I raise them back into being, hey, this is life and laughter and really bliss in so many different ways for us to be here. Look at this place. Everywhere you go, there's so many beautiful things and amazing things to see. Amazing. And mostly I tell them it's time to live their own life. Don't watch people's lives on TV when you got your own life to live. That's how we'll get fat. Sitting around watching other people living when you're supposed to be living. And moving around. just like every day we're supposed to move around. It's a combination of it all.
And that's a perfect segue for me to ask you about your photography and where you've come from and where you were in terms of thinking that you would never be able to do those things until you had an opportunity to do it and things changed.
Well, my photography was something easily learned because I'm easy with people. I'm just good with people. I think maybe going on a lot of interviews that you're rejected as a model or as an actor, and early on in my life, helped me to do that, because if you're not strong and if you're not joyful, boy, people could really put you down quickly, because it's not how fast you type or what color hair you have. It's just really the way you look and your attitude. And I think I was so good with new models and new actors that it was really a joy for me at a young age. And when I met Andy Warhol, it really just took off, because I saw what other people did, and I could see their faults being on so many shoots. And it was just easy. I'm just sorry that there was so much money involved and that it became such a high-pressured game for me. I enjoy what I do much more now, shooting real people and not having to worry about their fashion. I think my photographs have stood the test of time because I shoot classically, like music. I like classic stuff. I love classic black and white.
And tell us about some of the work that you've done. There's some photographs in your home, in the hallway, from an exhibit that you did a couple of years ago.
Well, I tell you, I love the Curtis photographs of the turn of the century, but then when I read some things about it, I was stunned to find out that most of those photographs of our heroes were taken at gunpoint when the cavalry had just caught them and before they boarded the train to go to the concentration camps there in Florida. And that most of our photographs by Curtis were taken at that time at gunpoint. And I thought, man, what a vision of left of our people and our generations at gunpoint, at their lowest hour of being captured and caught and actually scared of the invasion, really, and the war, because, I mean, let's face it, a lot of people on the plains, they were only cooing. There was nobody really getting killed. We respect your strength. But now that man can kill each other at a distance, they don't even have to look at another man dying. Whether it be the Gatling gun or riding something on a bomb, if you can't see what you're doing to other human beings or to innocents possibly, it really has lost its humanity. And gosh, I was so happy to be able to shoot some of my friends, something that I love, because I don't look that native, so when I see a face that I thought was just amazing, boy, I was just all over just to be able to look into those eyes and find out about them and take a photograph of them, to look into their soul from a brother, from another human being, and not at gunpoint like some of our heroes were shot at that time, or not some of our brothers that were forced into the Wild Wild West show, or whatever was happening at that time when photography was first coming around.
And to preserve.
And that those spirits still lives, because let's face it, in the world today, we've found out that what Red Cloud and some of the other elders wrote about at that time, saying they will come to us to ask the real truth of how to keep this land safe so we can all enjoy it for a long time. And let's face it, progress hasn't been exactly what we've expected. It's not going to be what we expected if our children cannot live to the 7th generation or even in the next few generations. If you can't drink the water, you can't breathe the air, and people aren't acting human to each other, what are we going to have here? But a mutation of what humans are really supposed to be like.
A thought just occurred to me when you capture those images of these spirits with your camera. It brings that spirit to other people who might not have seen it or experienced it before. It almost opens a channel to communication.
Well, I think because people take photographs in so many different other ways. you know, for a wedding, or they take their picture for school, or somebody takes their picture for this or that, for their business card or whatever, they've forgotten about their true essence. And that's what I like to get. I like to look at somebody and go, give me your truth. I mean, truth when you're happy, truth when you're sad, and truth when you're feeling passionate about life. And I think that that's what people kind of forget, because we're kind of, at least people who are watching maybe too much TV, are gauged to diss somebody else. You know, I'm driving this car and I'm not going to look at you. I'm really dressed up and looking good, but I'm going to walk through the club and not catch a single eye because I'm just too cool for everybody. But that's not how human beings are. And that's not how the native people communities are not like that. People have to look at each other. You have to greet. You almost have to be like the little ants. Yeah, hey, how you doing? Oh, it's good to see you. Hey, how are you doing? It's good to see you. It's good to see you too. And that's how it's supposed to be. But with our cars and our isolation, more and more with me, I'm within this. I look good within this. I don't care about anybody else. But that's not the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to teach the little ones. We're supposed to ask the elders, and we're supposed to take care of them, as we're supposed to take care of each other, especially through hard times.
Maybe this is an opportunity.
I think it is. I think the Indian communities have a lot to say, especially the intellectuals, because let's face it, we used to be able to drink out of the Hudson. Used to be able to drink out of 95% of the water waves. So I know that's not everybody's fault, and nobody has fault with their ancestors, but let's face it, if lumbering giants, whether they be corporations or governments, are doing the wrong thing, we have grown spiritually as human beings to be accepting of this beautiful melting pot that we're all together here. You know, Native people might be a very small percentage, and I know that there's more people who identify with it now from the last census, because maybe they're not sitting on the res, but people aren't ashamed anymore to go, hey, my grandmother was Indian as Indian, and there's plenty of things to be proud of about that, as well as the Latin community. I mean, that's what they call mestizos like me, a mixture of European and native blood, and some African too. It's a beautiful place and a great experiment, but we have to continue the humanity of it, because we made the great strides of humanity, of the individual being able to have rights to be free, to maybe not have the restraints of the mining store, because maybe that's what we've gone back to. If you cannot pay your bills or your supplies and you are forced to work, that is not freedom. Because the supplies that we're all asking for, and they keep telling us that we're inadequate for, keep building up. I don't have the right car, I don't have the right shoes, I don't have the right shirt. I wish I had some bling on my fingers. But it's not about that. It's about the realization that, man, it is pretty exciting to be alive in this day and age with these changes that are happening.
It's an extraordinary
And
life.
the information that we're gaining, so, I mean, figuring out the genes and figuring out how things work and finding out about past things that were just quick fixes. That's a wonderful thing about the 7th generation, doing things that will help the 7th generation. We got to look past ourselves and just our children. There's their children to come, and that's a long ways. We live such a very short time. We have to think like the butterfly, like the monarch. I mean, what is there, 4 or 5 generations that do their migration? A multi-generational migration, and they know what to do. Multi-generational. We're not much different if we listen. Everybody cares for their children the same. Everybody cares about where they came from the same. And we need to have mutual respect so we can all really enjoy the beauty of much longer.
Thank you, Carlos.
You're welcome.
Incredible.